Here we are recording. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. This week flew by. It is Thursday, April 1st. Happy April. Did you guys have any April Fool's Day tricks today? I did not, and I'm glad for it. I don't have any up my sleeve. No April Fool's tricks. April 1st, 2021. Time is flying. We are continuing our reading of U Squared by Price Pritchett. There we go. And we'll read like 4 pages today, and then tomorrow we're going to finish it up. It's already going to be done. I can't believe it. Choose a different set of risks. Going for the quantum leap feels chancy. Yes, it does. The risks hit you as rather apparent and maybe quite threatening, but you must stack them up against the hidden risks you accept when you decide to live with the status quo. Ask yourself what you're risking if you do not go for the quantum leap. The risk is that you won't get what you really want out of life. You've got to understand that you can never escape risk. It's not something you can decide to live with or without. Something is always at stake. You can only decide which risk to take. That is the truth. We think by not taking the leap, we're saving ourselves from risk and discomfort, but by not taking the leap, we're risking our future and further lifelong discomfort. Would you rather be uncomfortable during your leap and your fall, or experience discomfort and misery for the rest of your life for never taking the leap? Just that temporary risk is better than a lifelong risk. You've got to understand that you can never escape risk. It's not something you can decide to live with or without. Something is always at stake. You can only decide which risk to take. Whenever you choose to go for a quantum leap or to follow the usual routines, you are putting something on the line. So choose carefully and don't kid yourself with the idea that playing it safe by living with the status quo gives you the best odds. That may be the surest way of losing. I think Jim Carrey actually he did a commencement speech for I don't know what school, but it's all over YouTube, his commencement speech and his advice about, take the risk, because if you think you're doing the safe route, that's an illusion. There's no such thing as safety. Safety and security is an illusion. We saw it last year. You might as well do what you want to do and risk losing that than never risking anything. I kind of just said that before. Quantum leaps do mean that to some degree, you must move beyond the zone of familiarity, security, and comfort. But you can make the jump to U Squared without being reckless or impulsive. Frankly, making a quantum leap is not merely gambling. It's not a crapshoot. You simply move on to an opportunity you've been ignoring. You simply move on an opportunity that you've been ignoring. You abandon your excuses, burning the boats like we talked about yesterday, making a decision. You reframe the problem. You take a completely different chance. A quantum leap is risking in a way that unmasks the truth, revealing how the only thing of significance that has been standing in the way is you. Risk believing in yourself. Risk believing in yourself. Risk acting on the assumption that you can succeed in making a quantum leap. Otherwise, the risk is that you will settle for only a fraction of what life has to give you. This isn't a case of taking a big chance. It's a matter of giving yourself a big chance. This isn't a case of taking a big chance. It's a matter of giving yourself a big chance. The major obstacle to overcoming the odds is never challenging them. Until you test the limits regarding what you can achieve, you can't truly know what your chances really are. And the odds change in your favor when you begin to challenge them. But if you try to minimize your vulnerability by avoiding a new set of risks, you kill your chances for a quantum leap. Trust in the power of pursuit. You've dreamed many dreams that were yours for the taking. In fact, almost all of them were well within your reach. Even now, most of what you dream can be yours. The simple secret is the seeking, pursuit. Dreams begin to crystallize into reality when they are pursued. The world behaves differently when you actually take action to go after what you really want. What you wish could be starts becoming. The dreams move in your direction, begins to come to you, even as you reach for it. Have you ever sat on something for so long and you just get so upset and you're like, screw it, I'm going to go for it. And things just start happening really fast. You have a quantum leap. Probably you're like, God, I could have done this a long time ago. I'll tell you a story when I'm done with this. It was amazing. Okay. Consider this. The dreams you have realized in life are those which you actively sought. That which you have achieved is what you decided to go for in one way or another. You can think positively all day long, all year, but positive action is what counts. Wishing, longing, wanting, desiring. These are not the same as pursuing a dream. These are mental states and can play an important role in the process of becoming U squared, but they are essentially passive. Pursuit, on the other hand, is active. That's the taking action. Mindset is paramount. Mindset you have to have, but then you have to have the action. You have to do the seen and the unseen, both the physical and the energetic or spiritual. You have to do both. So thoughts are essentially passive. Pursuit, on the other hand, is active. Reaching for your dream is behaving, moving, and it shortens the distance between you and your desired objective. Most people confuse wishing and wanting with pursuing. Their desire for a dream may be desperate and deep. I know how that feels. Wanting something so bad, years pass by. And you just, yeah. But when that desire fails, I just saw someone's birthday and it's not really their birthday. That's weird. Okay. I digress. Okay. Most people confuse wishing and wanting with pursuing. Their desire for a dream may be desperate and deep, but when that desire fails to produce, they conclude the dream cannot be theirs. Actually, the only proof they have is that the longing is not enough. The data at hand merely prove that desire alone cannot deliver. Pursuit is what makes the difference. Reaching for what you want alters the odds immediately and drastically of getting it. What you want becomes part of a dynamic exchange with the world and you in partnership when you act and extend yourself toward the dream. This is what we talked about yesterday. The question that I asked Bob. I did post that question in this feed as well, but I put it at the end of yesterday's episode. So what you want becomes a part of the dynamic exchange with the world and you in partnership. Remember, we think and then we give it to universal intelligence. That's the co-creation part of anything we want. U squared is firmly based on the premise of pursuit. Quantum leaps require you to take the offensive. You can't achieve exponential gains in your success from a defensive posture. You can't remain in a passive stance and make a quantum jump. You must move on the dream. This means you must leave the cover, the safety that goes with merely wishing for something. You must place your trust in action. Ask, seek, knock, and the dream shall be yours. That's exactly what Bob said yesterday. Ask and you shall receive. I mean, we all learn this, but we're afraid to even ask. Well, we can ask, but we don't take action. We're waiting for some big security. We're waiting for the guarantee. It's never going to come. We have to get out of safety. We have to get out of comfort. Okay, the next chapter, seek failure. Quantum leaps demand a willingness to make mistakes. You cannot hole up in the safe zone of behavior where you have beaten the odds of failing. An unwillingness to encounter defeat or run into problems outlaws quantum leaps. Unless you allow yourself to make mistakes, to fail, you will never have the opportunity to test the limits of what you truly are capable of accomplishing. You must realize that if you're experiencing no difficulties, problems, or pain, you probably have aimed too low. You've leveled off in your growth and achievement. You probably are far from reaching your limits. So think of the problems or pain or slippage in performance as a positive sign. A performance lag ordinarily occurs at the very outset when you are making a quantum leap. It's the pause during which you poise for the jump, the temporary loss of momentum that occurs in the process of changing gears. Have you ever felt like you're going for something and you're like, oh, you just took like 2 steps back? I always imagine myself as like the arrow being pulled back in the bow and poof, so you can go farther. You deliberately destabilize yourself when you break out of the habit patterns that represent the status quo. You create some inner chaos for yourself. So be prepared for the possibility of confusion, anxiety, and failure. We talked about that yesterday. This is not for the faint of heart. Quantum leaps, big dreams, big goals. It's growth. Growth hurts. Big risks, big reward. We have to be prepared for confusion, anxiety, and failure. Who the heck wants that? That's why people don't do it. That's part of opening yourself up to a new methodology that has the potential to deliver exponential performance gains. It's always worth it. Fail. Fall flat on your face. So often in life, it seems things first get worse on the way toward getting better. Or be prepared for that sort of development. Problems belong in the process. They are part of the equation that produces U squared. They are not proof that your ambitions are futile or that you should give up. That this is one of those things. It's like, when you decide to do something, then, you get a flat tire and you're like, oh, is this the universe telling me that I shouldn't be doing this? Is this God punishing me for doing? It's like, no, keep going. It probably means when shit starts getting real and falling apart, it means you're probably on the right path. It says, as someone has said, everything looks like a failure in the middle. You can't bake a cake without getting the kitchen messy. Halfway through surgery, it looks like there's been a murder in the operating room. If you send a rocket toward the moon, about 90% of the time it's off course. It fails its way to the moon by continually making mistakes and correcting them. At the outset, you may feel high because going for the quantum leap is heady stuff. But then the hard reality of problems may slap you in the face. Progress off masquerades as trouble. Progress often masquerades as trouble. So like I said, if stuff starts going wrong, Araceli, it masquerades as trouble. So if stuff starts going wrong when you set out on your sail, you're like, you packed your boat, you're getting ready to set sail to your dreams, and then everything goes wrong. That's not a sign you should quit. That's a sign that you're on the right path, because progress often masquerades as trouble. It's easy to lose faith because other people may withdraw their support and be critical of your efforts. We talked about this with Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. We care too much what other people think. That's the number one reason why people don't live the life they want to live. They're afraid of what other people will think. So it's easy to lose faith because other people may withdraw their support and be critical of your efforts. That, plus your own anxieties and uncertainties, can tempt you to turn on yourself and quit. This is the crucial point in the process. Don't give up. Failure belongs here. It's a sign of progress. The stress will seduce you toward retreat to the safety of the status quo, the trap of the familiar. Just remember this: failure does not mean you're defeated. Failure does not mean that you're defeated. Actually, the struggle gives you strength. It's like tempering the steel or the soreness involved in developing muscle. The difficulties are just evidence that you're learning and progressing. So go looking for failure and then use it. Don't interpret problems or breakdowns as proof that you should quit, but instead take them as evidence of your growth and improvement. Failure is a resource. It helps you find the edge of your capacities. Ooh, one more. All right. Get uncomfortable. We'll end with this. Quantum leaps jerk you out of your comfort zone, don't they? Prepare yourself for a pretty wild ride. You're going to cover some unfamiliar terrain and encounter obstacles you've never faced before. If it can feel like the safety chain linking you with behavior patterns that worked in the past is being stretched to the limit. At times, you may wonder if the situation is about to spin out of control. The normal reaction is to want to hold on tightly, but you're going to have to learn to let go. U squared is achieved through release. So turn loose if you want to jump. Don't be surprised if you grow uneasy. That's a predictable part of the process. When you take the quantum leap, you ride the situation, but you don't really control it all that much. In fact, the only way you control it is by 1, knowing where you're going, 2, continuing the pursuit, and 3, learning from your mistakes. A quantum leap is an act of faith, exhilarating and possibly scary at the same time. It is. It so is. You have to give up a large degree of security and safety, plow through the greater amounts of ambiguity and confusion and uncertainty, wrestle with a totally new set of problems, invite failure, and possibly contend with criticism from other people who have been part of your support group in the past. That's the hardest thing. Does this make you feel uncomfortable? That's a good sign. If you're experiencing no anxiety or discomfort, the risk you're taking probably isn't worthy of you. The only risks that aren't a little scary are the ones you've outgrown. A high comfort level provides solid evidence that you're playing it safe, not growing. No, not really testing your limits at all, and not in the process of a quantum leap. You might be making gradual progress, that's possible, but you're not going for the breakthrough. U squared carries you beyond your commonplace everyday habits and calls for a little more nerve. So just go into this expecting a touch of anxiety. Uneasiness is a predictable psychological reaction when a quantum leap is underway. It has been said that if you will do the thing you fear, death of fear is certain. If you will do the thing you fear, death of fear is certain. That's kind of like the Star Wars. There's a lot of metaphors, but Joseph Campbell, The Hero's Journey, like enter the cave you fear. That's the one you have to go into. That's where all the answers are. Courage is not the absence of fear and anxiety. It's proceeding in spite of those feelings. So press on. That was good. Tomorrow we will finish. Oh, so my story was, I just got off a call. I had like a reunion with my community college. We were in the radio, TV, film class. And so we got together with the teachers, and oh my gosh, my teacher's 83. He looks so good. He's so full of energy. And he was just telling us, he said, he's 83, he's in good health. And he's like, I'm just going to tell all of you guys, do not waste your time. He goes, if it's one thing I can share with you, he said, I don't have long range vision anymore. Maybe I'll think, 10, 15 years. But he goes, I just think of day by day. I seize the day. I wake up and I have a pulse and I say, what am I going to do today? Can you imagine being 83? And he said he doesn't have long range. And it was in a positive way. He said, do not waste your time and do not let anybody else waste your time. That was so profound. I'm so grateful that I got to hear that tonight. Yeah. Life is not, when we're young, we can think that we have all the time in the world. Seize the moment. Do the thing you want to do. Screw everybody else. Put yourself out there. I did. I told you guys yesterday, I never had social media. Hell, I talk to a camera every day now. I do not care. I'm doing what I want. I love these books. I love sharing it. And I thank you guys all for your support. Tehran, always a pleasure. Oh, I'm seeing all your comments. Oh, you guys are so great. Sometimes I don't see the comments, but I'm glad I'm seeing them now. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys all tomorrow for the last day. And we're going to finish U Squared by Price Pritchett. Have a wonderful evening.